The next thing we want to do is we want to create a middleware that will sit in front of any route that we don't want someone who's not authenticated accessing. Basically, you cannot hit this route unless you have signed up, made an account, got a JSON Web Token, sent us a JSON Web Token. The JSON Web Token checked out. It gave us back a real ID that matches who you say you are, and then you can access this route. So that's what this middleware is going to do. And we can put it in front of any route that we want that to happen, which basically means everything in the database. If you want to access anything in the database, you got to be signed in. It's just like any traditional app. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go back to our auth, and we're going to do just that. So we're going to say export const protect. You can call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it protect. It's going to be a middleware. It doesn't take any options, so I'm not going to make it a function that returns a function. And if we kind of just walk through, I kind of have the code here. There's a few weird things going on, and I just really want to explain them because even now they're still very weird to me. But I know why we do them, but they're still just very weird. So, like I said, because you are the one making the server, you're making the rules. You're saying if you want to authenticate with me, you have to pass me something on the authorization header, right? So let's do that. And I'll talk about what bearer means in a minute. So I'm going to say const bearer equals, we need the rec and the response here, request.headers.authorization. Express lowercases all the headers for us, so we don't have to, but most headers are capitalized. But Express just lowercases them for us, so they're easier to work with. So I want to get this thing called bearer. There is an authentication design pattern or scheme in HTTP. There's so many of them. You got API keys, you got basic auth, you have, it's just so many things. One of them is called a bearer. Bearer is just basically like, it's a generic way of describing someone having the ability to send up a token, and that token can be of any type of token. It could be a JSON Web Token, it could be a API key, an access token, but bearer just describes like this person's sending a token. So we're going to use a bearer token. What does that actually mean in practicality? It just means you literally put the word bearer in front of your token. That's it. Yeah, it's silly. It's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like, do you use a anchor tag in a form because it's technically correct, or do you use a button? Probably a button, even though I guess the anchor tag is semantically correct. Like, it's one of those things. It's like, this is just for semantics at this point. I bet there's more to it, but I'm not a security expert. So yeah, we're going to use a bearer token here. And basically, we're just going to check every step along the way. If you don't meet a certain requirement, we're just going to 401 you, which means not authorized. 401 is the status code for not authorized. So in this case of, oh, no bearer token, you didn't send one up? Oh, you thought you was getting access? I don't think so. So I can say rest.status 401, rest. Whatever I want to send back. If you want your API sending back messages that show up on your UI screen, then you would send a message back. It depends on what you want. I'm just going to send a message back. And I'm going to be like, message not authorized or something like that. And then I need to put a return here, at least in my case. Otherwise, it'll just keep going to whatever's next down here. So I got to put a return. So I'm just gonna stop here, and then we're gonna hook this up, and then we're gonna see it run, and then we'll fill out the rest later. So I'm gonna save that. I have protect. What I want to do now is go to index.ts, or I'm sorry, server.ts, and right here in front of the router on the /API, I want to protect this whole router. I don't want anyone accessing these routes unless they're authenticated. So I'm gonna say protect. Like that, it's gonna import it for me, and I'm gonna hit comma. So I'm gonna do that. Mine auto import it, like that. So you wanna import your protect from modules auth, and then you wanna add it before your router after /API. So now anyone tries to go to anything /API, before we let you access these handlers over here, you gotta get past protect. And right now protect is rejecting anything that doesn't have a bearer token on it. So let's see if we can test that. Stop my server, start my server. Oh, that didn't stop it. That did something else. There we go. And then now what I'm going to do is go to my Thunder client, and I'm just going to try to go to /API product. I don't have anything in the headers. I don't have authorization here. I don't have this thing is using bearer right here, or OAuth 2, but I don't have anything here in bearer. So I can just send this request, and you can see I get back 401 unauthorized, message not authorized. Exactly what I said back. That's our middleware. That's protect doing that. It's like, nah, you didn't send anything up.